They just call them ear.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Tracy Green Business Speaker Series. I'm Manju. I'm the president for Tracy Earth Project. So should we introduce ourselves first?
Hi, everyone. This is Jody Nygaard. I am CEO and founder of Tracy Earth Project, and so happy to see everybody today for this exciting presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Benjamin Jex. I'm a board director here at Tracy Earth Project, and happy to be collaborating with the Chamber on this.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Lay. I am the development specialist at Grid Alternatives North Valley. I'm here today to be presenting on Grid Alternatives.
And you?
Hi, I'm Melinda Ramirez, the treasurer with Tracy Earth Project and CEO of the Tracy Chamber of Commerce.
And Fox Online, would you like to introduce yourself? Annalisa? Okay, Christine, hi.
Hi, I can start. Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Tran. I'm an associate regional planner with the San Joaquin Council of Governments, and we are also the managing partner for the San Joaquin Regional Climate Collaborative. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, everybody. This is Annalisa. Sorry, I was trying to unmute, but you beat me to it, Manju. You were moving too fast for me. But I'm with Tracy Delta Disposal, and I just switched into a new role. So now I am full-time community outreach and education, and I'm also happy to be here.
Oh, cool. Good luck on your new role.
Thank you. I want to talk to you later too, Manju.
Okay.
I heard some information, and I'm really sad about it. So I will reach out to you privately. But
No
anyway.
problem. And yes, the next person, Jacinda, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Janicia. I'm an assistant planner with SJ Cog, and I'm very happy to be here.
Welcome. And I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. Okay, Valeria, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Manju. I am here on my own accord, but I do work with Rising Sun Center for Opportunity. I'm the outreach manager for the Central Valley, and excited to finally be able to join one of these meetings.
Awesome. Thank you for joining, Valeria. And Jorge.
Hello, I'm Jorge. I'm an outreach coordinator with Grid Alternatives, and I'll be presenting alongside Michelle today.
Welcome. Thank you, everyone. And so today we just do a small introduction and then we move on to the presentations. And then we have a small question and answer session at the end. I can change the slides. Yeah, spacebar. Oh, okay. Okay, so just an overview. We started Tracy Green Business Network as a partnership with the Tracy Chamber last year. And the goal of this is to promote sustainability among local businesses and also eventually building a green business directory for the City of Tracy. We also launched our survey in August. So please scan the QR code that will take you to our survey and oh yeah. So the QR code will take you to a survey, and the survey is all about showcasing your commitment to sustainability. We also have a small community of sustainable businesses that we have developed since last year. So that would be an ideal group for you to connect and grow, as well as stay compliant. And we also award the top businesses at the Chamber Gala every year in January. So this is the rough timeline for this year. So currently our survey is online and it will end at during the end of November, and then we do the data analysis And we announced the winners around December 13th at the chamber press release, sorry, the press conference. So I'm gonna hand over to Michelle and for the presentation for today.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everybody. Do I just click on the screen too?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. I'm really excited to talk about Grid Alternatives North Valley. I'm here today with my colleague Jorge. We were asked by Manju to come and speak at the speaker series. I'm a resident of Tracy, so I was aware of Tracy Earth Project, but because Grid Alternatives is part of San Joaquin Regional Climate Collaborative, and we've been really trying to expand our presence here in Tracy. I wanted to be more involved, so thank you for the opportunity for coming to speak. I'll pass it over to Jorge to give him the opportunity to introduce himself.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm also with Grid, also part of the RCC work in Tracy. So I do have some ties to Tracy. I have a lot of family in the area as well, which is also the reason that I wanted to be more involved with this work. But I am based in Stockton, so the majority of my work at Grid is local to Stockton, but I do work all around San Joaquin County, including Tracy.
All right. Well, has anybody here, either in person or virtually, worked with Grid before or heard of them?
I've heard a few.
I've heard of you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't know much.
Well, it's good to know. We are a nonprofit that is specifically focused on clean energy. Yeah, I'm trying to move like
Here,
but I can't really.
You know how to make it just show the one? Instead of showing all of them. No, there's a way to do that. Move it
Awesome.
over.
Thank you.
Move it in the corner.
And point the camera down a little bit.
Mhm.
Michelle is kind of short in the seat.
Oh, yeah.
It hides the view entirely, but then you can't see yourself in the frame either. This should be the last person speaking, I think.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we are a nonprofit organization. We are a nationwide solar nonprofit installer. Our focus has always been on environmental justice, especially in the clean energy space. As you all know, clean energy has an access problem. Oftentimes, working class communities of color are disproportionately impacted by pollution that is often associated with the energy intensive process that we have in our society. On top of that as well, there's a term called energy burden. We often see that working class families are spending a lot more of their household income on energy compared to other households. And with this talk and urge for clean energy, there needs to be perspective on making sure that we are prioritizing communities that have oftentimes been left out in these conversations about energy planning and access to renewable energy in general. Let's see. We know that clean energy solves a lot of issues that come with climate change and also addresses a lot of economic inequality at the same time, right? Clean energy gives us the opportunity to reduce energy burden on families and affordable housing owners. It accelerates and makes it clear that we're making the push towards reducing our reliance on fossil fuel energy sources. It also addresses a lot of critical environmental justice issues at its core, and in general, it is a whole new field that can offer a lot of jobs, which is something we really need, especially here in San Joaquin Valley. So that's why Grid Alternatives came about. Our whole mission is believing that we can have a successful transition that includes everybody, not just those who have oftentimes been at the forefront of these conversations. And we're able to do this in many ways. We have a suite of programs that we offer. Our main bread and butter is solar, but we also have workforce development. We dabble a bit in clean mobility. We work extensively with a lot of tribal communities. And in general, we are an ever-evolving organization and, always trying to see where we can serve people the best. So the next couple slides are kind of getting in depth on our programs that we offer. Like I mentioned, our bread and butter is single family solar installation. It's been that way since we were founded. Obviously, this is to benefit low income homeowners. And in some cases, we also have worked with single family affordable housing complexes. We are there for the client from the beginning to the end on the installation, making sure all of our practices are to the industry standard, working through the really extensive and complicated interconnection process, and making sure that this process is very educational and accessible for our clients, making sure that we have personal touches in this process of getting solar installed on households, because oftentimes that's kind of left out, and people who want to get solar, they have the option to go to private companies, but they don't get that personal touch and that opportunity to learn more about like how this is overall contributing to a bigger mission that we are trying to provide. And like I mentioned, we also have done some commercial installations as well. This is mostly working with affordable housing developers, and same case where we are there from the beginning to end, working with the developer to make sure that we are engaging residents, keeping them informed on the process, and working through the very complex process of getting renewable energy onto the grid. I think the impact date numbers are a little bit outdated, but we have worked quite extensively in this region. Most of our work has been in Sacramento, but we have also worked in Paradise, Woodland, Davis, 22 projects when this slide deck was created. I think it's more now at this point, and similar with the families and the kilowatts installed, it's definitely more. And like I mentioned earlier, we also work with tribal communities because Green Alternatives is a nationwide solar installer, like I mentioned. I'm specifically from the Sacramento North Valley Regional Office, and our office covers from San Joaquin Valley all the way up to the Oregon border. So it's a quite expansive region. But with that being said, we get a lot of opportunity to work with the tribal communities in Northern California. We work extensively with the Northern Circle Indian Housing Authority and the tribes there in that area. And we're planning to do more work in the coming years as there are shifts to funding and such. We're trying to be as flexible as possible. I'll pass it over to Jorge to finish the remaining programs that we offer.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. So yeah, on top of solar and tribal, we also have our clean mobility program. So GRID does work towards increasing access to clean mobility. So this would be like any programs related to electric cars or e-bikes that we've done at GRID. So for clean mobility, at the North Valley office, we're very involved with like community outreach and education on these programs, as well as our different partnerships with state level electric vehicle incentive programs, which are listed below. So far, in Sacramento specifically, we were administrators for the Clean Cars for All program, which helped remove over 60 vehicles from the roads in Sacramento. And currently, all around from the Central Valley to like the northern region of California, our office specifically is also involved in the Access Clean California program. So we also administer it and we do the outreach for the program. And this includes different grants for people that want to purchase an electric vehicle to help reduce that cost. transit vouchers, and then also recently we had another grant for people that were interested in e-bikes. We also have funding for charging stations through this Access Clean program. But on the next slide, please. And again, on top of Access Clean, we're also very involved in workforce development, specifically in San Joaquin County. Um, but, or sorry, not specifically. Recently, we're specifically focusing on San Joaquin County, with our current cohort being in Stockton. But we have a ton of opportunities as well in the Sacramento office. So our workforce development programs, they connect people that need good jobs within an industry that needs good people. Our main program is the IBT 200 course. This is a year-round program that we have at Grid. Each cohort lasts, I believe, about 8 weeks.
It's 5 weeks now, so it's 5 weeks
Okay.
hours of intensive training.
Mhm.
Usually 6 cohorts within a year. 5 of those cohorts take place in Sacramento, where we have our office, but also our technical training academy. It's the picture that you can see right there.
Mhm.
And then we have one satellite cohort that takes place in Stockton, because we are funded through the Transformative Climate Communities grant there.
Mhm. Yeah, so like Michelle said, IBT does go like throughout the year, but our current cohort is the one that is in Stockton. But in addition to IBT, we also have our Solar Core fellowships, which are a paid 11-month fellowship with Grid. So people through this fellowship, they get to work with whatever department they're most interested in, if there's any spots available for a fellowship that year. Currently, we only have fellowships for people that want to work with Grid through the with the construction department. But typically, we'll have them available for construction if they want to do more like install focused projects, the design team, or with outreach. Um, and then at the bottom, we also have our Solar Futures program. So that's more so like an educational program for students who want to learn more about renewable energy. So we also have that as part of our workforce development. And then this is just more information on IBT. Um, so yeah, it is a comprehensive industry vetted curriculum. Um, it's commercial paced solar installation training. Um, yeah, it's competency based, timed capstone assessments. And then it also includes employment readiness workshops. So like once they complete the training, they get an opportunity to do like a mock interview with staff at Grid. I believe there's also like um, resume training, and then additional resources for like any connections that Grid has on like anyone that's hiring. I know our workforce development is pretty involved in helping people find a job after they receive their certification through Grid. And then on top of that, they also get their OSHA 10 and CPR first aid certification through this course. And who benefits from IBT 200? So for this program, we typically work with low-income communities with our funding. So this includes like any historically marginalized communities. We also give the opportunity to any like Grid Solar recipients. We've had people go through like our rooftop solar program who are then interested in learning how to install solar with Grid. So we have gotten students through just our other programs at Grid, and what Grid does. So this is a paid opportunity as well. They do get paid um, for going through the training course at Grid. It's 200 hours of classroom and hands-on technical and professional development training. And again, you do get job placement support with our network of local solar employers on top of the job readiness training. And then, oh, this is just some information on GRID's impact in San Joaquin County to date. So far in San Joaquin County, we have two cohorts that have already gone through, and then we have four more that are planned. So it is a little not super far away from Tracy, but if you know of anybody who would be interested in IBT and is willing to go through the Stockton training space, definitely share our contact with them.
And I just also want to stress too, like our goal definitely is to have these trainees by the end of the program feel confident. I mean, they have a whole suite of comprehensive skills that are, needed for this specific industry, but we want our trainees to succeed. So it's so we have an emphasis on solar employers, but we are there to help our trainees get placed in allied industries as well, such as construction or anything kind of relevant in that space.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
go ahead. Cory.
oh no, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it is a very intensive program, but we have such a dedicated staff. They are just so hands-on with the trainees. They're in the office most days, and there's 6 cohorts within a year, so it's kind of back to back. For many years we had some struggle with like our workforce development department in general, but we've had such a strong team been built over the years that it is something that our office is really proud of. So, sorry. Go ahead, Jorge.
But yeah, these are just the modules that people go through with the IBT 200 training. So they do start with orientation. That just includes like general information about the program, and they also get the opportunity to learn about what every department at Grid does. So we do like different presentations to see if maybe after their training they would be interested in working with Grid through any of our other departments. We've actually have been able to hire some people full time after they complete their IBT training through these orientations. So it's a great way to get to know the people that are going to be going through the training and also introduce them to Grid as a whole. They do also have safety, general safety, as well as like safety practices that Grid does internally, construction basics, Solar 101, general introduction to solar, electricity basics, and they start with the installation. So first they'll learn about racking, the array layout, and mounts. And then for the second part of installs, they learn about conduit bending. They also do learn some customer service skills since they are client-facing staff. They would work directly with clients on the days of installation. So they do get some training there. They get some training on site evaluations to see like which homes are um, solar ready. They also go through the commissioning training, and then again, all of the employment readiness training. So communications, financial literacy, and then also interview and resume prep. And then they also have one-on-one career counseling with the workforce development team. And then this is just some of the impact of the North Valley office as a whole. So in 2011 is when we started in Chico. So far we've installed 2,185 projects. And that includes 10,780 kilowatts that have been installed um, through the Energy for All program and our multifamily program. We've produced over 72.8 million in lifetime savings for the people that are enrolled in our programs. We've trained over 306 people, so through IBT, Solar Core, or Solar Futures. We've also prevented 163,416 tons of greenhouse gas emissions, and our impact since 2011 is equivalent to planting 3.8 million trees. And on this slide, some more stats, but this is specific to Sacramento County. So we opened up our Sacramento office in 2014. And since then in Sacramento County, we've been able to serve 504 single family projects and 4 multifamily projects, which served 69 families. And all of this totals to 1,383 kilowatts installed. We've produced 15.9 million in lifetime savings for the families enrolled in our programs. In Sacramento, we've trained 282 uh, trainees through the IBT 200 and Solar Core program. So the majority of our trainees are in Sacramento, since we have most of the training opportunities in our North Valley office. We've also prevented 163,416 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. And in Sacramento County, this is equivalent to 716,971 trees planted. On the next slide, this is specific to Stockton. So in Stockton, we began working in the city of Stockton in 2017, thanks to mostly TCC funding. That's a Transformative Climate Communities grant. And through this work, we've been able to serve 645 families with the single family solar program, Energy for All. We've also worked on 4 multifamily projects, which have served 157 families. So this totals to 3,071 kilowatts installed. We've produced over 24 million in lifetime savings for the families enrolled in our programs. In Stockton, we've trained over 24 students through the IBT program, and we've prevented 50,975 tons of greenhouse gas emissions. And our work in Stockton is equivalent to planting 1.2 million trees. So this is where we are. So again, our office is based in Sacramento, but we work in Stockton, all throughout San Joaquin County now, and we work all the way up north towards the Oregon border. We did initially have our North Valley office in Chico, which is how that's how the North Valley office started. So we did used to work more often in Northern California, but with more funding um, in San Joaquin, we were able to move closer down to Sacramento and serve a wider area of California. So again, our main administrative office and technical academy is in the Sacramento office, but we do have a shared space now in Stockton with a few nonprofits that are also funded through TCC. And again, in San Joaquin County, we do work everywhere in San Joaquin County thanks to DACSASH funding. But our main focus areas are Stockton, Manteca, Lathrop, and Tracy. And then we also have a large focus area in Butte County. So again, Chico, we used to have our main administrative office there from 2011 to 2021. And we would work very often in Paradise and Oroville. And then just a stat, 63% of our current grid North Valley staff identifies as POC. And then this is just a general map of our staff structure at Grid, at North Valley specifically. So we have our board of directors, who also works with the vice president of the regions at Grid headquarters. And then we have our North Valley co-executive directors, which are Pablo and Achini. If you work closely with Grid, you've likely have met with them before, but yeah, those are the co-executive directors at North Valley, and then they work directly with the construction directors, workforce development managers, administrative manager at the office, and then our development and strategic partnerships team, which would include Michelle and Krista at the North Valley office. And then, yeah, there at the bottom, we have our remaining staffs, our outreach managers and outreach coordinators, the construction team, which includes the warehouse and design. And then we have our workforce development and technical academy team.
Apologies all for the formatting. Not sure what happened on the slides there.
I think it's because I changed it to the slides. You gave me a PDF version.
Oh, got it.
But
Let me.
a lot of it I did change.
Oh.
But yeah, I missed some.
I know.
Sorry.
I think there might have been. Could you help me get back to the? There was a end slide, I think.
Yeah.
Are you still sharing them?
No, let me just see. Okay, I guess the end slide got cut off.
I do think it was just our contact info.
Yeah, I was just
If
wanted
you
to.
want to drop that in the chat.
Yeah.
I think it might be towards the end of this one. I
Oh.
included both the
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it. Sorry, I had to start sharing again. Or can we get back to that again? Let's go over to the end. Or
isn't it? Okay.
yeah.
I'm not sharing anymore.
We wanted to just quickly pause before we kind of get into the San Joaquin Regional Climate Collaborative, just in case anybody had any specific questions about. I know we went through a lot, so and Jorge did a great job summarizing all of our programs and the fact that we've been here for a really long time. Again, our office was originally in Chico, been here since 2011, and really consolidated in 2014. But the reason why we are part of the Regional Climate Collaborative and have been expanding to this work is that we see there is definitely a need for more climate resiliency solutions, especially here in Central Valley. And so yeah, Dottie, I know you had a question. I wanted to open it up for anybody else here or also online.
I did.
One.
Okay, go.
Oh, the multifamily housing?
Yeah.
Was that housing authority or in Stockton? Or do you
Yeah,
know?
I believe so. This is before I had joined, but we have an extensive relationship with the Sacramento Housing Authority, or Sacramento Mutual Housing Authority. Jorge, do you know if that's?
I was curious about the Stockton one. It said that like 157 multifamily units in Stockton. I was curious what.
They're I believe it should be also the housing authority there too in Stockton, yeah, in San Joaquin. That work has been done through our TCC grant. And Jorge, do you have any other information that you could provide on the commercial projects that's been done in Stockton?
For commercial,
The multifamily housing.
I think we did. Was it Casa de Oasis? Was also
It was Casa de Oasis.
with Grid, or sorry, with part of our Stockton funding.
I know that Tracy has the housing authority in Tracy is in the process of starting to build out a bunch of units, multifamily units for seniors.
Oh.
Yeah, and I just feel like that would be a really good thing for
Good.
seniors on fixed incomes, be able to
Oh.
reduce their electric bill. And they're still in the development stage, like they haven't started construction yet. They still have to demolish the old buildings, so there's some
Yeah,
time. I
early
think it
on.
might be really good.
Where would they plan that?
It's actually down the street from here. It's the Tracy Homes development. It's through the Housing Authority of San Joaquin County.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's called Diablo.
Mhm.
They go by Tracy Homes or Diablo Homes.
Yeah, Diablo is there.
Diablo Homes is the old name, but they
Yeah.
call it Tracy Homes now.
So it's Fourth and West.
It's actually South Court and West Court are technically the streets that they're in.
Well, I mean, their office.
Yeah,
Is
it's
right there on.
Fourth and Wester, yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Mhm.
This was kind of in the works. We just learned about this too, about just the City of Tracy's possible interests of round 6 TCC funding. Something like that would be definitely a project that could be funded through that. So Grid would be interested in it. Thank you. That's good news.
So you, a lot of this is grant funding through TCC. What other funding buckets do you guys use?
We have believe so our overall revenue, 30% of it is philanthropy. So through government grants, through like TCC. We also we also have the California, I can't remember, Cal CRG. That's another grant that fully funds our workforce development program. We have a few corporate partners that we've gotten funding from, and also foundations as well, and some individual donors who are, based in our region that support us.
And so with the close of the residential tax credit,
Mhm.
how will you are you still able to continue putting solar on single family homes? They would just, they would not receive the credit, obviously, the installer either, but is that still going to impact you with the residential tax credit closing?
Yeah. Jorge, do you want to speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, so that incentive was one of the main reasons that we were able to collaborate with um, our solar partner before. Um, Now that that tax credit has ended, we have um, also ended, well, our solar partner has ended that partnership. So um, it definitely impacted our funding in terms of being able to serve people through our single family program. Um, but we are still able to qualify for the tax credit technically for, I think, a couple of months after the deadline, since we've already started working on some of these projects technically. So um, I think it is going to impact how many people we can serve through grid, since our DAC funding will only allow for so much, depending on, what other funding we get in the future. But yeah, definitely losing that tax credit has definitely made a big impact in who we're going to be able to serve in the future.
Okay, if you have like a for-profit too, like, so you can maybe, I mean, like when you installing solar, do you also install it like at a fee, like a normal
Yeah,
business as
we
well?
have so 30% of our revenue is mostly philanthropy, and then a good chunk of it is fee for service contracts that we have. So we work with SMUD, and Rory, do you want to answer to that a little bit more?
I think I missed the beginning of that question.
I'm just asking, like, what other ways are we getting
Yeah,
getting
like what
profit?
other funding streams?
Funding,
like,
yeah, funding
like,
streams.
Do you have a for-profit component to your business, or maybe not necessarily to make
Mm.
buy those profits to your non?
Mhm. So talking a little bit about our fee for service contracts, and I believe that's with SMUD, right?
With SMUD, um, and then I think that would be
Like, is there work that you do like for a fee as opposed to not just for free?
Yeah, we do. And like I mentioned, it is a good chunk of it. But we things are scary right now for renewables.
Yeah.
It is.
Mhm.
It's all nonprofit.
Yeah. All nonprofits too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be more so for our commercial, and then like our projects where we work directly with SMUD. Um, but in terms of like working with any income qualified homeowners, we don't charge them anything. Um,
And who
yeah.
owns the panels? Do you guys maintain ownership or do the homeowners? Is it?
hmm We maintain ownership for the first 10 years so that we can, well, one, qualify for the incentive that helps pay for the system, just so that they don't have to pay anything throughout the entire 10-year period. At the end of um, the 10-year program, the homeowner has the option to either have the system removed for free, um, and they also have the option to, in our contract, it does say to purchase it at a fair market value. We're hoping that in 10 years, we're anticipating that it will be zero. So ideally, we would like to just pass over the system um, for as low as we can. If it is an amount that the homeowner cannot afford, if it's not zero for whatever reason, then they do they do have the option to opt out and just have the system removed for free. But for the 10-year program period, it is technically Grid's property. So we maintain the warranty. If anything happens to the panels, we're the ones who have to go and make sure everything's repaired, so that they don't have to pay for anything out of pocket.
Very similar to how Sunrun is
Yeah.
offering their Flex program right now. Just really quick on your workforce development.
Yeah.
Where's your training facility? Is it in Stockton?
Yeah, so our training facility, our technical training academy is actually with our office in
Okay,
Sacramento.
in
So,
Sacramento,
mhm,
okay.
yes.
Do you have any plans
Mhm.
of, coming down into Tracy for for more workforce development and training? I mean, I'm just gonna share, we have 2 new union halls in Tracy
Uh-huh.
that I'd love to have you meet and have conversations with, because I can see a really incredible partnership where, Grid could have the space inside one of these union halls. They have a warehouse out here off of Tracy Boulevard that, would be awesome, because they're doing apprenticeship programs in their own spaces.
Mhm.
They have, for Tracy, we have bricklayers and painters, and then we have flooring and glazers. So, we have, and we're expanding more. So they're looking at Tracy with other trades. So, one of our critical, one of the city's critical strategic goals is actually workforce and youth engagement.
Mhm.
So would love to have more conversation about
Yeah.
this,
Oh, yeah.
and be able to see what other opportunities might be available. Because our biggest concern is a lot of our young youth especially in our disadvantaged communities,
Yeah.
don't have the transportation
Mhm.
to go north out of the city. So whether it's Stockton or even up to Sacramento, that really puts the biggest burden on how do we transport kids to these really important programs. So looking at either how do we get programs down here, or in the meantime, how do we try and work out, vouchers or something to get them to these really great
Van pools.
opportunities, van pools, vouchers for whatever, bus, whatever. But it definitely could be a much more in-depth conversation at a later time.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely glad to know that there is a need for that in Tracy.
Well, we have WorkNet now in
Mhm.
Tracy that just got a new facility, and
Yeah.
they're looking at trying to also meet the need of the current work force in our city.
Mm.
So we have, we're starting to actually have a little more diversity coming in. We're not just all e-commerce and robotics and tech, are, associated with that industry, but, some manufacturing is starting to resurface. We have, like the building trades now starting to make a presence. We have, hospital and PD and fire academies here. So
Mhm.
we're looking at how do we try and really develop a robust workforce plan and really have kids be able to see all the opportunities
Mhm.
that we can offer them. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
No, this is all good insight for us. Like,
And one last thing,
go ahead.
do you know what is September 21st?
I know.
She knows.
Solar Day.
Oh my gosh.
What is that?
There you go.
Yes, I just learned that.
Solar
So
Day.
Solar Day is
Well, for me,
September
solar is
20.
every day.
I
you
get
know?
it.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah. Also Batman Day, National Batman Day. It's
Yeah, it's on a calendar,
Oh my
please.
God.
I'm sorry. Well, we'll make sure we put that bat signal out
Thank
for
you.
you. We have to wait for the sun to go down. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, yeah, Grid is definitely open. It all just depends on where the funding's going, right?
Mm.
Like if Tracy was able, had so like our program, our IBT 200 program is mainly in Sacramento because our technical academy is there, all our staff are there. It's easier that way. And I trust me, I totally understand the transportation issue. Like we deal with that quite often with our trainees because our trainees are usually coming from priority populations, right? So we were able to do this cohort annually in Stockton through the TCC grant and build that presence there in Stockton. And so we would very much be open to doing that in Tracy, and we can work through like what the logistics of that would be, but it all depends on like, okay, well, is there going to be funding in this area for us to be able to do that? It's good to know that you have facilities, because facilities is also another issue that we encountered in Stockton, like finding the right training partner for that and dealing with that, but a place that's accessible for all of our trainees as well. So yeah, happy to have more conversations around that. I'm sure once we have more.
And knowing that the residential door shut, that commercial is still open for
Yeah.
about 2 more years. If you have any flyer or information about this, that would be great for the chamber to send out to the businesses here in town to say, hey, you still have an opportunity for 2 years to get that, because the tax credit won't be 30%, but what I've heard, it's probably around 22%. That's still quite a bit of savings for, commercial organizations. But it would be great to try and really promote more commercial solar. They need it, they have such a higher demand and higher energy bills. So it'd be great, because I'll tell you, the last that big outage we had here about a month and a half ago, we had big businesses calling the city to see if the city had industrial generators they could borrow. And we're like going, wow, so it is about, do your solar programs include battery?
That's a whole thing. So, all right, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
So we did get funding for battery storage for a couple of months starting this year. The funding went really quick. So um, we were able to install a few projects already with their battery. Like a lot of our clients already have their battery included with their system and it's up and running. But recently, because of how quickly the funding was going, the SCHIP funding portal was closed. So we do have quite a few contracts that are signed with their battery funding pending. And as soon as that opens up, we're going to try to secure as much funding as we can. But unfortunately, as of now, since we do anticipate that the funding will run out pretty soon, we're no longer accepting applications for free solar with funding. We're only providing PV only systems. So just the panels would still provide some funding, has the environmental benefits as well, but a lot of the savings were coming from the inclusion of storage. So it is I think a huge loss, but hopefully we'll run into some battery funding in the near future.
I'm just going to throw this out there. The 2 union halls that we have are not solar.
Yeah,
I see a really cool partnership right now. Hey, let us come in and we'll help get solar on your roof. Anyways, I just love this, and it's all about how to really network, connect, and collaborate.
Do you have a question?
I did have a question about kind of community sentiment towards clean energy projects and the face of increased electricity prices. So we've been talking a lot about how funding from the Inflation Reduction Act is going away because of the new budget bill. And I'm just wondering, like, that's not a very visible thing to a lot of people, what happens in Congress. But what people do see is these clean energy projects and decarbonized equipment like appliances and EVs and stuff. Do you see sentiment towards these projects and the programs that you have changing as electricity prices are going up because of other reasons that aren't actually related? Do you see that being a problem for your group and the communities that you serve?
I hate to put Jorge on the spot again, but because Jorge is more client facing, I feel like you'd have a better perspective on that.
It's kind of tricky. So yeah, because of how expensive utility rates have gotten recently, I think that has definitely increased um, interest, not just in our program, but like different renewable energy options in general. Um, so I think sentiments have changed where people are opening up to it a little bit more. But with this increase in demand, a lot of for-profit solar companies have also just increased their sales tactics, which depending on the area and what salesperson is assigned to that area, it has kind of it's given solar kind of a negative reputation. So a lot of people, once they see that we're offering solar, even if it's at no cost, their experience with like solar sales reps in general has just kind of soured their experience. So it has improved, I think, um, sentiments towards cleaner energy options, or at least the rising cost of energy has. But I think there's still kind of the additional barrier of having to distinguish ourselves from for-profit solar, which I think has been a little bit difficult. Because yeah, people have to hear us out to learn that it's actually genuine no-cost solar. But um, again, yeah, with all of the reputations that for-profit solar has made, there's a lot of people that are just not even willing to hear us out or to learn more about the program. Um, but I have seen more people turn around recently with how expensive everything is getting. They're open to hearing whatever options are available to help lower their energy costs. So it's a mixed yes and no.
Thank you for sharing. I
Mhm.
wish you all the best of luck in getting the clarity about like what you're actually doing here and
Yeah.
turn around for everybody.
I think, the loss of NIM two actually played a lot of that into, whether or not people felt solar was worth it. Because they lost a lot of, the return on that investment.
Mhm.
So that kind of dampered, the public's view of going solar. Anyways,
I'm
this
curious.
has been phenomenal.
I'm curious about, I get like the funding is going away, unfortunately. What if, would you be able to continue to provide solar maybe at cost? I know it's not free, but if even just if it were to not have it, I mean, like at a lower price, I mean, is that even an option?
That kind of goes, well, that's like we're just a regional office.
Yeah.
We're just one office of many of this big nationwide organization, and they're kind of handling news as it comes out. We want to, bottom line, like our mission is to make sure that this transition is including everybody and that we're making these technologies available to those who typically don't have access. And so we'll do whatever we need to kind of keep true to that mission. I don't know what conversations are happening at the top level if that's even an option, but I think
We'll see, right?
yeah, we'll just see. I guess we'll just have to see. I know also that we're almost at time, so really quickly before, and I didn't even know if we got to anybody online as well. I'm so sorry.
I do
It-
have a question if you have time.
I do, yeah. Let me share this real quick. Just because I did want to quickly also mention as well, also for folks who are online and for the recording, that Grid Alternatives is based in Sacramento, but we are also a part of the.
Let's check.
Check.
Oh, everything's in the chat, anyways.
Oh, okay, awesome. That's good to know. Yeah, we have been part of the San Joaquin Regional Climate Collaborative for a few years now. SJCOG is on the call as well. They are a leading partner in this collaborative, but we also have public health advocates who has a present here in Tracy, University Pacific, Stockton Service Corps, and Catholic Charities. Our main priorities is to really foster solutions that meet needs of the first and worst impacted by climate change, and specifically within the communities of Stockton, Lodi, and Tracy. Again, I'm so mad at the formatting and such for this slide was messed up, but there is a whole presentation we did on the sustainable neighborhood plan specifically for Tracy. We don't have enough time to kind of get into that, but I did want to just give an overview of that's the kind of work that we're doing right now through that collaborative, taking a deeper look at kind of community centered solutions, getting opportunities to do in-person outreach. And now we're in a phase of our collaborative where we're finalizing our sustainable neighborhood plans, and we're seeing how we can fund our work post 2026. But Yeah. I did also want to answer your question that you had.
Yeah, so my question is kind of connected. So as you know, there is less incentives for solar right now. So has your organization developed a plan to mitigate those and still continue giving the services that you provide right now?
Repeat that question one more time, just so I can make sure I got that right.
No, so what I'm asking is, do you have like a plan to deal with the current political scenario and still continue doing the good work that you're doing right now?
Yeah. And Jorge, feel free to chime in if you have an answer after I finish giving mine. I mean, I don't know if we can speak for Grid as a whole, because again, we're just staff at a regional office, and I'm sure leadership is, crafting their own kind of internal discussion about what to do and how we should go about it. But from what I see, that Grid Alternatives has always been very community centric, and even in the past through, I mean, this time around is definitely a lot has been going on, a lot of changes,
Yeah.
but I think we have always relied on making sure that we are connected to the communities that we serve. We are reaching out to the partners that we have, and San Joaquin Regional Climate Collaborative is one example of a collaborative that we're a part of, that we know we can access a whole network of people through, and also funding opportunities through as well. And so I see us like, just federal funding and the changes to that, we kind of have no control over that, but we do have control over the partners that we are making in the next couple of years. The amount of effort that we're putting in to kind of diversify our philanthropy portfolio, right? Federal funding might not be coming in, but there's still corporate, there's still foundations, there are still individual donors that you can tap into. There's opportunities to join collaboratives, so you can apply for bigger funding opportunities. We're trying to take it day by day and stay flexible and creative on what we can do to sustain ourselves.
Got it. Well, let's see if
I had a quick follow-up question to your answer there.
For sure. Well, let's see.
I don't mind waiting at all.
For sure. Okay. It was just
not really any questions, but thank you all for being here.
Jorge, did you also have an answer at all for Andrew's question?
Kind of, yeah. So I think you answered most of it. Like, yeah, we unfortunately did lose a lot of federal funding with the Solar for All cuts from the EPA, but uh, like you said, we do have like a ton of state funding and like our DAC/hash funding, which was like our major source of income for at least when I started. That's still secured, I think, until 2030, right? So we have like a solid amount of state funding. So we're definitely going to continue doing our work, but I think the amount of communities that we'll be able to serve is definitely being impacted by the federal cuts, which is unfortunate. But we will continue to do the work through Grid with state funding or with any other funding sources that we get.
So my question is, do you or your organization see any role in communicating about these changes? Like I feel like what happens can be so disconnected from people's everyday lives. They've got other priorities to think about. But I just wonder, like, what role is there in community organizations to explain what changes are happening and what caused that?
Yeah. I think I can answer a little bit to that. Well, like, first and foremost, like, our bread and butter is solar installations, getting as many solar installations to underserved communities as possible. Making sure our workforce development program is a fine and solid program. We want to make sure those two programs and the other programs that we covered in the presentation are our main priorities. When it comes to kind of communicating, big changes, it's still kind of evolving conversation, I understand at Grid. I know we have a whole like communications team at HQ that internally like we was always updating us on policy updates and such, but I don't know if there has been any guidance in particular in terms of like outreach when you're talking to clients. But Jorge, do you have anything to speak on that in terms of have you how do you handle conversations with clients, I guess, on changes of that sort? Or do you
Hmm.
something like that?
Um, in terms of communications, if it's not directly related to the work at Grid, I know there's a lot that we're kind of advised not to really go into. Um, but yeah, with the majority of the changes, um, they're usually addressed by like our headquarters communications team. Um, but yeah, there are like, unfortunately, a lot of rules that kind of prevent a lot of the advocacy work that's not like within the scope of like renewable energy.
Not
So,
that it should or shouldn't be. I'd love to know
mhm,
this person. That's some great insight on what your guys' role is at this part. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
yeah.
It's like letting people know that this is like a service to them that is accessible and like this is an option for them to choose, you know, their own energy, I think is like the kind of role that we're serving. We do the most that we can by kind of the events like this, being more in person at like community events and getting the opportunity to join collaboratives like the San Joaquin Regional Climate Collaborative to kind of talk more about the shifting landscape of energy. But Grid Alternatives as a whole doesn't really get too deep into it because at our core we're like a program oriented organization, and we're trying to get our programs off the floor. Get our programs in the hands of people who need it. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Any more questions?
Did a really nice job.
Yeah,
This
thank
was
you.
awesome.
That was
Great
great.
information and a lot of great partnership. It's really inspiring to see, you know, this type of growth still happening.
Definitely.
Gives us all hope.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Jorge.
Yep. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so once again, thank you, Jorge and Michelle, for the presentations today. Just a final reminder about our survey. So please take our survey. It's only like 20 minutes. It's comprehensive. I know it's a bit long, but you will be in our business directory. Sorry, sustainable business directory. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see you soon. We'll keep you updated on the next steps and upcoming any speaker series that we organize. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, y'all.
everyone.
Stop sharing.
And stop recording.
Oh, okay.
I
Actually,
got it.
Nice job, Michelle.
thank you. This is, I'm glad I got the opportunity to talk